The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing week. And as we're getting further into August and starting to move into the fall, we're going to be having shows talking about balance. Because when we're coming from summer and we're stepping into the fall, it's the shift in energy, it's the shift in seasons. And I want you to be able to really purposely, on purpose, direct your balance, be in charge of that, really step into a leadership position so you can have the balanced life you want. And when we're changing seasons, it's a really great time to reevaluate that, see if there are some new habits that you want to take on or new strategies so that you can continue to be balanced as you're moving forward powerfully. So today, I'm excited. We have two special guests. We have Michael Anne Conley. Michael Anne, welcome.
Thank you.
And the amazing Patty Farmer. Patty, welcome.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Glad to have you. And what we're going to be talking about today is balance and looking at it in respect to our business, to the habits, those things that we do, because sometimes habits can serve, sometimes they're not serving, and how to fully awaken to our beauty, to our gifts, so we can bring that into the balanced equation. So we've got an exciting show lined up. But I wanted to take a moment before we dive into all the content to just share a couple things with you today. I had my balance challenged over the last week and a half, and I think sometimes we look at balance and we think the things that are gonna throw us off are unexpected emergencies or a challenge, or suddenly there's been something traumatic or catastrophic in our life that has thrown our balance off. But I've also found it can be in those highs in life too, those amazing things that can happen to you, that suddenly we're now playing with a new plate full of things and our balance can get a little bit thrown. And so I wanted to share that's what happened to me this last week and a half. And they've all been really good things. So I'm really grateful. I'm going to celebrate them with you today. But I also went through this process in this that I wasn't able to necessarily celebrate right away. I got overwhelmed. I got stressed. I felt stretched beyond what I could do. And I discovered ways to bring myself back into balance. And so those are the things I want to share with you for just a moment, and then have us go into our hearts and really see what it is we need today. For those of you who were on the call last week, you heard our exciting news. So our show is the #1 most listened to show on the women's channel of Voice America. So we're super, super excited. Secondly, we have renewed our contract, so we're excited to share again that we're going to be moving forward with Voice America, not only on the Women's Channel, but we're also syndicated on the Empowerment Channel. So we get to keep expanding our reach and serving more people, and all of you are part of what made that possible. The other piece I just touched on, and part of it was because I couldn't even quite get grounded in it. The other thing that happened is that with the contract, Voice America has actually given me a television channel. So not just a show, which is what I understood at first because that's what I could hear at first, but they've given me a channel. So now we get to bring additional influence, great shows onto a channel with all of Voice America and all of you being part of our journey and really reaching out and changing the world. So there will be more to come in that. But that's a lot to process and absorb and celebrate and really step into. And I have said yes to all of it. I'm very excited about it. But then in addition, the speaker talent search has now expanded. And so we're moving that to more locations. We're in conversations to take it internationally into Canada, as well as Southern California. So we're excited about that. And then my event that's coming up this weekend, which was sold out, became even more sold out. So we're adjusting to all of that. And so if you have sent me emails and I've been a little bit slow to respond, or you've had to send it twice, I apologize. We're bringing additional support in. Those are some of the growing pains. But these are things that are all great news. It's super exciting. You all get to be part of this journey as we reach out and touch more lives. And I'd love to keep you in the loop. So let me know what you want, what will serve you, what you'd love to see. If you had a channel that you could watch and experience, let me know what you want, because we have an opportunity to build this together. And I want to do it in a balanced way. So I shared that it was a lot for me to absorb. I got stretched, a little bit scared, had to call some friends. So that was the first thing I did. I called some friends and I reached out to them and asked them to hold this space for me, to pray for me, to lift this up and to give me clarity and direction, because I believe all of these things come with a responsibility in a good way and an opportunity. And I want to serve full out. I don't want to hold back because of fear, or I'm not quite sure how to do certain things. So they're holding that space for me and holding me accountable. So what I want you to take from that is to remember it's not a solo journey. Reach out, have those friends, have those colleagues that can walk beside you and lift you up and hold that space. The second thing I did was I took a breath. I cleared some time so that I could listen and ground myself instead of running off to the next thing and never getting roots. So those are the two things that have really helped me get a different perspective. And then the third thing, so there are actually three. The third thing is I tapped into experts that can really help me as we're stepping into this medium. I've expanded the team because I don't want myself to be, and my skill set and what I know so far, to be the limiting factor. I'm really willing to bring in experts to take it to the next level. So those are three things that helped me come back into balance and actually be able to be here on the show with you, grounded, celebrating, and excited about the next steps that all of us are going to get to take together. So let's take a moment and put that second step into practice of taking a breath, because in life we run from one thing to the next and we forget to stop and ground and evaluate and see what we need. So if I could have everyone, if you're driving, please keep your eyes open, be safe. But those of you who are able to, please put both feet on the ground. Close your eyes. You are perfectly safe, I promise. Take a breath. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head. Again, take another deep breath. And you actually feel yourself relaxing, the shoulders dropping a little bit. Let's bring all of you in and see, what is it that you need today to support you in your balance on your journey? What is it that is laid upon your heart? I invite you to open your ears to hear, your eyes to see, and your mind, body, soul, and spirit to receive. One more breath. And just receive what is here for you today. Sometimes you'll get a feeling, a picture, a memory, something that reminds you of what it's important for you to focus on today. And when you have that information, I invite you to come back into the room, open up your eyes, and actually capture that information. Capture what it is that you need today. If we can keep it top of mind and in front of you, it's a lot easier to say yes and recognize and lean into what it is you need today. Beautiful. So with that, Michael Anne, did you have something shared upon your heart today?
Yes, the thing that came up for me as you were leading us in this is I need and want to feel connected to myself, and right now in this moment to you, to Patty, and to everyone who's on the call.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love that. Connected, and I'm thinking deeply connected. That's what I would like.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. How about you, Patty? Did you have something laid upon your heart to share?
For me, what came up for me was that as I'm entering into my event next month, I'm really holding a space for after the event, we're going to do an alumni event. So I'm really holding the space for really both of those things together in a global marketplace. So I'm really excited about that. But there's a little bit of things going on right there that I'm working with balancing that.
Yep. Yeah, when there's expansion and change and programs, it ends up being a lot to balance. Oh, absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you. And for myself, I echo really on my heart what both Patty and Michael Anne have shared about this deep connection and balance that we really, I think both of them are a choice. They don't just magically happen, that we get to choose to keep finding our balance. There's not a point we just arrive, ta-da, and forevermore are balanced, because we're in a very dynamic thing called life and business. And we get to purposely keep choosing balance. And I believe actually a deep part of that is powerful connections, because this is not a solo journey. And it's really, really valuable to have people that we can connect with deeply. And listeners, I'm so grateful to have all of you in my life and now in all of our lives as we connect together in our sacred time together, that we can really have that powerful connection and bring forth whatever it is that was laid upon your heart that you are seeking today, that you were drawn to this show, because it was not an accident that you are listening. There is a purpose, and we really want to serve you and bring forward what it is that you need today. As we're stepping into our commercial break, I invite you to stay in this heart space for just a moment and really listen to what it is you need. And please feel our hearts echoing that deep connection with you and that deep desire for balance for ourselves as well as for you. And we will look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to empowering women, transforming lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that break and you got an opportunity to pause and listen and really see what it is that you need today. We are getting ready to do our first formal interview of the show with the amazing Michael Anne Conley. And you got to hear a little bit of her heart in the first segment, but I wanted to do a more formal introduction just so you know more of who she is. So Michael Anne Conley is the founder and director of the Still Point Integrated Health Center. She is a private consultant and habit change expert. And I have to tell you, Michael Anne, as I read that, I started hearing like Secret Agent in my head and songs that were associated with that. So I like that.
Yeah.
With your experience and history as a licensed therapist and health educator, you have over a 30-year track record, really bringing clients to a place of recovery and empowerment. So welcome officially to the show, Michael Anne Conley.
Thank you. Otherwise known as Secret Agent Woman.
Ta-da! Beautiful. Thank you. And I love to always start our conversation with understanding why. Why is the work that you do of really empowering men and women, but I know you have a special place for women in your heart in this way. Why is that so important to you?
Well, I always like to say it's not fair to not share. And so I had my own journey of coming to waking myself up, in fact, just learning more about what the pain I was in and how to work my way out of that and come alive to myself. And it just feels fair to share because I saw so many other people, particularly women, who were suffering. And their habits, and then there are habits of how you respond to yourself around your habits. And there's two levels of suffering there.
Yes.
And I just, I found some ways for myself, and then in working with clients over 30 years, I discovered that many of the things that worked for me worked for others, and then we pulled together things that worked for them, and I created a system to help women get through both of these layers of problems, habits.
Beautiful. And I love that it resonates with one of your core values, that what you do is sharing. So you believe it's fair to share. So yeah. I love that what you're doing, the work you do personally is so in alignment with your core, some of your core truths. So I just think that's really powerful and beautiful.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I know you and I have talked, we've known each other for a number of years. So Michael Anne is a friend of mine, everybody. I claim her. And she uses this phrase called sleeping beauties. And I love how you relate and explain what sleeping beauties are and how this relates to self-defeating habits, those habits that aren't serving us. Do you mind explaining this concept to us and expanding on it a little bit and kind of what you mean by sleeping beauties?
In 2 sentences or less?
You can have 3.
Oh my gosh. Well, the short answer is for every listener to go back to that time in pre-adolescence when for many, many girls there's a shift from feeling competent and capable to starting to focus on being popular and liked, and there's something that happens, particularly for girls, even today it happens, where there's a shift from owning your power to disempowering yourself. And that doesn't go away when you're finished with adolescence. A lot of women continue to be asleep to who they really are, to, like we say, their real beauty. And what I find is that there's a process, particularly in the 20s, where women develop the secondary habit of self-criticism because they aren't who they think they should be. And awakening is a process of coming into yourself. Often women get there on their own, but many times they don't, and they need support and reinforcement for knowing that their light is seen by someone. And sometimes their therapist is the first person who sees their light. And I've been that person for many people. For others, it's a teacher. Often it's a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or someone who's valuable. But eventually we have to come to this awareness in ourselves so that we're not at the mercy of other people seeing our light to see our light. We need to grow into awakening to our own light. And that's why, for me, awakening, how we've fallen asleep to that real, true value in ourselves is so, so important. And I think it's really important for women to do that.
I agree. Explanation point underlined. Absolutely. I think there are so many women out there that have fallen asleep to their beauty, to how amazing they are. And I love that you have this passion for awakening them, not just awakening them for others to see their beauty, but for them to see their beauty and to rediscover that, how wonderfully they're made and valuable they are, because if they can start to see it themselves and own that, they can be in a much more empowered place in their life. So I so appreciate the work that you do and want to really encourage all of you to pause for a moment and really see, have we perhaps fallen asleep to some of the amazingness of ourselves? That we have these gifts and these talents and abilities that are unique to us. There's not another Rebecca 2 that if I don't fully show up, they're going to step into that stage. And so I think it's so important, the work that you do, Michael Anne, and the mission that you have to really help people step into that place of empowerment. So thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, what sort of mistakes, and I even think there might be misunderstandings and myths that keep women stuck, and then what can we do about it?
Well, I was just thinking about, a friend of mine wrote a song many years ago about the woman who swallowed the lie. And it's a cute little song, but it's really about a painful message that what we do as women is we are inclined, on the good side, we're inclined to not be arrogant and believe everything in ourselves. That there's a good side to recognizing that you're not perfect and that you're not always right. So a little bit of doubt is sometimes a very healthy thing. Humility is a healthy thing. But if you get too carried away with it, then you fall into miserable self-doubt, where every decision you ever make, you're mulling it over, overthinking, or overdoing on every project that you ever get involved in, because you never really quite trust that you know what to do. And I know for me, it took a while to come to the place of knowing, no, I really know enough. I don't need to study anymore or do another class, or that I've come into a place in myself that I know enough and I am enough. And these are. I like what you say about misunderstandings. I use the word mistake. I come out of I grew up Catholic, and mistake and sin are tied together. And in the culture, we punish ourselves over things that maybe are not punishable at all. They're just misunderstandings or lies that we've told ourselves. Myths, as you said.
Yep. Yeah. Beautiful. And I was letting us all sit in this valuable information that Michael Anne is sharing with us, because I believe some of this conversation we're having is a key to your balance. Because if inside you've fallen asleep to who you are, or you're having a myth and a misunderstanding about yourself and what you're bringing forward, it's really hard to stay balanced. It affects everything. And so with what she's sharing, I want you to do a check-in internally. Are you in balance, or are there some things that would be supportive of you to take a little deeper look at? Not with judgment, not with criticism, please. No. But really with, maybe I want to put a little more awareness on that, or maybe I want to explore that a little deeper level, or perhaps I want to get some support and encouragement in that area. And along those lines, I've asked Michael Anne to give us an amazing gift, because I want you to have the amazing access that I do to experts on the show. And so I asked them to provide free gifts to support you on your journey. So after our time together, you can keep that relationship going and really move forward powerfully in your life, get traction in these areas that have touched your heart. With that, Michael Anne, do you mind sharing about your amazing gift?
Yes, I would love to. Well, as you know, Rebecca, my avenue, what I've found is the avenue to finding balance is really through tactile physical experience. I found like that, just the breathing exercise that you did, that you led us in, is a way of tapping in, getting below the neck, getting out of your head. I call it let your body lead so that your mind can follow. Instead of the mind being the dictator. And so I developed an exercise many years ago, and with your help, thank you so much, and your encouragement, I actually created a recording, and it's made especially for those of us who are sleeping beauties who want to wake up. And it's designed to guide you through a process that can take you anywhere. You know, you could spend a minute on it, you could spend 30 seconds, or you could spend 5 minutes. And it's a wonderful exercise for unwinding pressure and stepping away from stress and awakening to what's really happening in you on a physical level. And so I developed this CD, and it's called Awaken to Your Inner Sleeping Beauty.
Wonderful.
And yeah. So, and also in addition to that, can I add a little bit about that? Because we also do in this is I am offering a clarity session that can help you more specifically. So anyone who's interested in getting more personal connection about the action steps that they can take can sign up for a clarity session as well.
I love it. Thank you. So listeners, this is a multi-level opportunity, multi-texture. I really encourage you, and I love that you've made it in bite-sized pieces where if we have 5 minutes and we just need that boost, or if we have a little bit longer time that we can devote to this, that you've made it accessible in those ways. So I want to thank you so much for your generous gift. Listeners, I already know that you like audio, so this is a nice match. I encourage you to lean into the gift. But here's the deal. You have to stay on till the end of the show, where I will share with you how to access Michael Anne's gift, as well as the amazing gift that Patty Farmer is going to make available. So make sure to lean into this commercial break. Take a moment to really listen to the sponsors who are supporting our show, making this possible, and come back for the next amazing interview and how to access these gifts. We'll talk to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net. www.rebeccatalent.com/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that break. You got to really sink into the valuable information and take a moment for you. Now, as promised, we're going to our next exciting interview with the amazing Patty Farmer. You got to hear a little bit of her heart in our first segment and some of the events that she has coming up. But I wanted to take a moment and share a little bit more of her formal background so you have that perspective as we go through our time together today. She is an award-winning marketing and social media strategist, an international speaker, also a radio show host and best-selling author. She has been featured on the covers of several magazines, The Accomplished magazine, Expert Presence magazine, and Be the Boss magazine. She is an influencer, has a real heart for collaboration around the world, and she helps entrepreneurs develop and attract ideal clients, create multiple revenue streams, and the lifestyle that they want to build. And frequently, Patty, I appreciate this about you. You start with that. What is the life that you want to build? And then you work the business around that. Now, I'm honored to call Patty a friend as well. It's the Friend Show today, which I love. So I also claim Patty, and let me welcome her officially to the show as the amazing and dynamic Patty Farmer. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm excited to be here.
Love having you here. And I want to start with my favorite question, which is why? Why is this work of helping people in this way so valuable and important to you, particularly in the area of media? Why is that important to you? Why do you spend so much time and energy on it?
Because I believe that we all have a message, and my mission is to help them to master that message, to market the message, and then to monetize that message, but to do it in a way that creates transformation for both them and their clients. And so a lot of times they have this message, but they haven't really mastered it in a way or marketed it in a way to monetize it. So really they need to be able to model that for their clients, right? So to be able to create that transformation for them and their clients, and that is very, very important to me.
Thank you. And I love that the power with which you shared that, mastering their message and to create that transformation. Really, really important. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Now, what things do you do? I listed all of these amazing things that you are, that you've accomplished, that you do. So what do you do personally to keep your life and business balanced, profitable, and in a way that you want to keep doing all that you do?
I love that question. For me, the number one thing is I think a lot of times for entrepreneurs, and specifically entrepreneurs who office from home, they don't have that transition time when you're driving home from the office, right? So coming from, one room and going into the other room, you really don't have that time to transition. So I think it's really important to, before you leave the office, to do a little bit of meditation, kind of clear that space for you so that when you walk out into the other room and join your family, that you're very, very present with them. So I think that's really important. And another thing that I do that's really important to serve myself too, because we have to serve ourselves first, right, is that I never make appointments on Fridays. Now, that's not to say I don't work on Friday. Sometimes I have to work till like 11 o'clock, but I find if on that day I don't make appointments, that's the day to have some Patty time. And by doing that, then on the weekends when I am with my family, I'm able to balance it perfectly because I'm not thinking about, oh, I need to get my nails done or I have to have my hair done before I go to that speaking engagement. I can totally be present with them because I've balanced that.
I love what you shared, and I just want to underline a couple of things because you've created those balance and transitions in your own life. And listeners, I want you to think for a moment about your life and what sort of boundaries are you putting around yourself so you're setting up yourself up for success. I agree. I think that transition time is really, really, really important, and having a process or ceremony or something that we're leaving this and we're stepping into that so you can be fully present. I love that you have claimed Friday for your own. And listeners, are you claiming a time of the week for yourself? For all of those things that need to be done so that you can fully be present in your life, not always pulled a million directions. I think that's so valuable what you shared, Patty. There's a lot of wisdom in that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, you travel a lot. I know you're an international speaker and an author, and you coordinate things for other speakers as well. So you do a lot of movement, a lot of traveling, manage a lot of pieces. How do you, in practical ways, how do you really balance the travel and your schedule, your coaching, your private practice so that you keep enjoying what you do?
That is a big one.
Yep.
But I think the most important thing is to make sure that you have a strategy. Here's the way it works for me. I have found that my never, never, never for me is I never mix my creative time with my admin time, right? So that's kind of a mindset. And to me, I want to stay in the zone all the time. And creative time is really income-producing time, right? And then we have admin time, right? Where we need to send invoices, right? Work on our promotional calendar. That's kind of admin stuff, not necessarily income-producing. And going back and forth from one to the other is really hard to balance. So what I have done is I am very careful about my schedule, and I utilize all those times when I'm traveling to work on admin times. You wouldn't believe how much you can get done while you're waiting at an airport. It's a great time to be working on emails and catching up on VA stuff and sending out those proposals and different things. So the question and the importance I feel to balance is knowing and asking yourself, when is your creative time? For some people, it may be in the morning, it could be in the afternoon, it could be at night. Always make sure that you're doing income-producing tasks in your creative time and knowing when to do admin tasks. That balance is not just your life, your business, but your profitability as well.
Beautiful. And I'm assuming as you're sharing this, that these are transferable skills, that part of the work that you do with your clients, with coaches, with those that you serve and support is to help them build this in their life. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, absolutely. But you have to ask yourself that question and know that. Once you know that, then you build that into your schedule because it's very important to make sure you never confuse activity with productivity, right? So It's really important to know that.
Perfect. Great. And I'm just bringing that up because I think sometimes we just try to handle everything on our own and we don't reach out. We're acting like it's a solo journey. Just a reminder, it is not a solo journey. It's a journey filled with people and opportunities and ways that we can touch lives. And the bigger the impact, I think the more connections you really need to have and the support that you need to really expand and touch the world. And a number of our listeners are not necessarily entrepreneurs or speakers and coaches. And I want to suggest that what Patty has shared, these are great tips and tools to apply in your life. So these are translatable tips and tools that she's sharing with you, having the boundaries, being clear about where you're spending your time and what you're doing with it, allowing space to pause and breathe as you're transitioning from one activity to the other so you can be fully present, you can be fully in your life, you can be fully in each of the things that you do, because we can be in the past, we can be in the future, we can be in the to-do list, we can be stuck on our phone and miss the moments in life. And I don't want you to miss anything that life has to offer. With that, I know, Patty, you have put together an amazing gift for us today as well. Would you like to share what your amazing and fabulous free gift for our listeners is today?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So for me, one of the things that I really find it's really important when you're asking yourself these questions, when you're trying to decide whether you're a solopreneur, whether you maybe just have a part-time VA or you have a whole team of people working for you, it's really important to know, what do I excel at? What do I need a little bit of help with? Where am I on these things? So that you actually know where to delegate, right? Where to outsource. So what I put together is what I call the 6-figure biz quiz. And really, it is a little quiz for you to be able to fill out. It will really enlighten you. And then it is weighted. So based on how you answer the questions, you will then get the answers and another gift that is based on how you answered that is full of value to be able to help you moving forward.
Wonderful. And I have taken this biz quiz, listeners, so it's friendly and approachable and a lot of great value. And I actually found, Patty, as I went through it, that just by answering the questions, it had me think about things maybe I hadn't thought about that way before. So even the process of taking the quiz, I got great value out. And then the information that was provided on that just took it to the next level. So I think it's a really valuable tool. I really encourage listeners, all of you, to lean in and say yes to these gifts. Now, I promised if you came back, I would let you know where to access these amazing gifts. So let me do that now. You simply go to Radio Gifts, and it's plural because there's multiple gifts, radiogifts.net. That's radiogifts.net, N-E-T, and you will make sure to go ahead and put your name and your email address in there so we can stay in touch. And when you do that, you will unlock all of these fabulous gifts that you can go in and lean into the opportunity that Michael Anne has made available to you, that Patty's made available to you, and say yes. Really take advantage of these resources. They are built for you to serve you. This is your opportunity to say yes to bringing balance into your life, to awakening to your beauty. This is the action you can take based on the information that we shared today. It is not a solo journey. I really invite you to lean in to these gifts. They are really here to serve and support you powerfully on your journey. So let's take a deep breath together. Wonderful. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. My goodness, the time goes so quickly. And when you come back, we have some more exciting information. I have asked my guests to have tips and tools that you can start applying right now to move forward powerfully into your balance. You can actively build that in your life. So make sure to tune back in, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone, and we are in our exciting closing segment of the show. And as promised, I talked with both of my guests, and they have been generous in saying, yes, they actually have more than one tip that they want to share with you today. So I'm excited to bring that information forward. I encourage you to lean into this powerful segment and really see what tools or tips you can take with you as you step forward in your day and in your week. With that, Michael Anne, can I hand the floor over to you and have you share a tip or something, activity that we can start doing right now to help us move forward or reset things? I'd love to know your wisdom on this and ways we can start taking action today.
Great. So could I take a minute to build on the breathing exercise that you started us with?
Absolutely. I love that.
Okay. So let's have everyone is listening. Let's take a deep breath. And that's defined by you about what deep means. And as you take this deep breath, put your attention on what's moving in you. And I mean that literally. So if you're sitting in a chair or a couch or driving your car, just notice as you breathe, what is it that's actually moving? A lot of times when we talk about the breath, our focus is on the front of us because we human beings, we face the world. But breathing, the barrel of the lungs goes in all directions. So particularly, you can shift your focus and aliven yourself just by noticing the movement, say, in your back. So as you breathe, deep breath, and then even take some normal breaths, some regular breaths, and just notice what's moving in your back. Or, for instance, you may be aware of your eyelashes fluttering. That's a movement that happens all the time. And we don't necessarily attend to it. We just get used to it. But just quietly breathing and noticing what's moving shifts the attention away from what's wrong to what's happening that's really right. And there you go.
Beautiful. And what would you call this breathing exercise?
I just call it moving as you breathe.
Okay.
And it's a common practice that I do when clients come in, because often people are whether they're arriving on the phone for a phone session or they're arriving in person, there needs to be a time to shift gears into the session. And very often people are coming from their busy life. And they'll say things like, oh, I realized I wasn't breathing. Well, in fact, we're always breathing. But we aren't breathing the way we think we, quote-unquote, should. And just giving yourself the opportunity to breathe in the way that you are and notice what's literally happening in the movement reminds you of how alive and awake you are already.
Beautiful. And listeners, to me, this is echoing so much of what Patty was saying as well. And this could be that transition that you do when you're going from one room to the next. Mm-hmm. This is a really, really powerful process to go through. It's almost like resetting in the moment and focusing. And I love that. I started paying attention to my eyelashes as you were sharing. I got very focused on that.
The word meditation is used a lot, and it really means a lot of different things. And so it can be kind of confusing. And so I like to just stay with what's literally happening physically and have that be a form of meditation.
Beautiful. So listeners, I encourage you to take a moment, like we've gotten to connect again in this warm place where we get to pause. And it's a great moment as we're transitioning through the end of the show and you're moving into going back out there in the world to really think about what is it. And I liked some of the wording you used, Michael Anne, about what is and what are you bringing forward? What are you moving forward in? That's an opportunity for choice. So I encourage you to think about some of what we shared today and what things are you going to be moving and stepping forward in, because you are empowered and you have that choice. I really encourage you to be conscious in the choices and decisions that you're making. Really, really powerful. Thank you, Michael Anne.
Thank you.
And Patty, did you have a tip or a tool or something that you would love to share with our listeners that they can start applying to their life now and move forward in?
Absolutely. And actually, Michael Anne gave me a perfect segue into it as well. So it's kind of great that that aligned. So that was perfect. So what my tip really is I had spoke earlier about that transition. So one of the things that I do, or really don't do, is at the end of my day, I know a lot of people like to end their day by looking at their calendar for the next day. Let me see what I'm going to be doing the next day, right? I never do that. And I have to tell you, I had to train myself to not do it. But when I'm ending my day, I make sure that when I walk out of that office that I don't look at my schedule. And the reason for that is I don't want to spend my night subliminally, right, in my mind thinking about what I have to do tomorrow and preparing, right? And sometimes I would do it in my sleep. So I had to purposely train myself to not do that, to make sure that I never look at my schedule when I leave my office. But here's the second reason. In the morning, when I'm having coffee, I open my schedule and I look at what my day looks like. And it does two things for me. And this is what I think is very important. The first thing it does for you is it allows you to be fresh, right? So now you have fresh thinking. You're going to meet your day, meet your clients, or whatever those appointments are that you have. So I think that's very important. But also, I like to encourage people to be very aware at this time. For example, if you are looking at your schedule that morning and you catch yourself going, like maybe we should think about that. If you're looking at your schedule and you're seeing what you're doing that day and you feel this sense of excitement, that tells you something too, right? So I think sometimes we don't always work with people who maybe are perfect clients. And this is a really good exercise to be able to really see. Your body will tell you in that moment what you're feeling when you look at that schedule in that bright, fresh moment in the morning, right? So look at that schedule and then really listen to your body on what is it telling you as you're looking at that schedule, and then listen and see if maybe you're called to make a few changes.
Beautiful. Thank you. And listeners, I just think there's a lot of wisdom in what both of our guests today have shared. And just to highlight a couple of things that you shared, Patty, that I especially love. I love, again, that boundary. You're so good with the boundaries and where you're drawing them to really set yourself up for success in life, and that you purposely draw that boundary as you're transitioning to the end of your day and really stepping in to be with your family and in your life. And then the opportunity to actually revisit and see how you feel about the day, and that you're giving yourself permission to make changes within that. And listeners, I really want you to lean into that, because frequently we're like, it's a schedule and I just need to keep doing that. But if you give yourself that moment, because what you say yes to, what you say no to, what you keep saying yes to is building your life. I want you to build it on purpose. It absolutely matters. And make sure that the things that you're continuing to say yes to are in alignment with who you are and what you're called to be. That's where you're going to find your balance. Not what others say yes to, not how others define it, but find your balance. The things that give you that energy, that aren't draining, that you want to say more to those things and no to the others. And tapping into when you're creative, when you're not. And to quote what Michael Anne shared earlier, it's not fair to not share. So make sure that you're sharing this wisdom and this insight with the people around you. Let them have this insight into life, this way of being in your life, so they can, and in their life, so that they can live their life on purpose and be connected with you in a deeper way so that you can fully shine as you're meant to shine. It is not a solo journey. You are beautifully and wonderfully made on purpose and for a purpose. You are precious and needed exactly as you are. And the greatest gift you can give to those around you is being willing to live your life on purpose, to develop that practice, making choices that bring more of you forward. So wherever you go in life, whatever you do, may you always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.